AFTERBUZZers, welcome to another episode of Below Deck. It's Season 4, Episode 2. What happens in the hot tub stays in the hot tub. And come join me. Let's go right now.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
What's up, guys? I'm dancing alone today. That's right. I'm your host. Your only host, but I'm back. It's another season of Below Deck. I missed last week. I'm excited to be here. My name is Michael Rippe, and you can find me all over social media at Mike Rips. It's in the handle right here, but I got some music to join me right now, at least. It's not the Mediterranean, it's the Caribbean, or Caribbean. How do you say that? Tell me in this live chat or the comments. Guys, it's just me, a solo show. My co-hosts, Angela and Madison, they're busy. They're hosting other events tonight on red carpets. But they'll be back soon, hopefully next week. For now, we're riding with me. So on tonight's episode, we have the Instagram Girls Charter comes to an end. We have the first time for the girls and guys to go out and party. And we have Trevor, and more Trevor. We're going to get to it all right now. If you want, you can join me in the live chat, and maybe I'll talk to you. If you got questions, just let me know. In the live chat, and we'll blow that up so I could see that right now. I don't have anyone in studio to talk to, so I'm talking to you. Let's start from the top of the episode. I wasn't here last week, but season 4, episode 2 got off to a nice start with the introduction of Trevor. And tell me right now, if you guys have joined me in the live chat, I have one question immediately. Is Trevor this season's Danny from Mediterranean? Because I started to think that immediately. Because right at the start of tonight's episode, Trevor is having a disagreement with Kelly about his authority, basically. He doesn't seem like he enjoys being told what to do, and he seems like he loves to tell people what to do. Am I wrong? Do you agree with me, or what's your take? Let me know in the live chat. I see there's a couple people in there right now. Thank you so much for joining us for Below Deck. It's great to be back, man. It's not Mediterranean, but this is exciting. So Trevor and Kelly talk about Trevor's, kind of making Nico and Lauren feel like he's telling them what to do. He also has in his title senior deckhand, which kind of off-putting. I don't know why he'd need to have senior deckhand, but he's been getting a lot of flack for it already. So that's how we start tonight's episode. We see them setting up for a beach picnic in the episode where you see Nico working and Trevor eating, and you hear Ben talk about Trevor and call him an odd duck. And I was thinking the same thing. So that's interesting that Trevor just seems to not really want to work at some points, but also making Nico feel like he should do it all for himself. That's right. So people in the chat right now were talking about Trevor being immature and needing a lot of guidance. And yes, that's been shown quickly in the first 2 episodes of Below Deck Season 4. I have to say, guys, I caught up on last week's episode and tonight's episode, and so far I really like the cast. I'm not sure about what Trevor's going to lead to, but I like the cast as a group. What are you guys thinking? Because if you're liking the cast, I think we're in for a really good season. I'm just not totally thrilled with the way Trevor treats his coworkers, treats the guests, and pretty much deals with anybody. We're seeing that mainly the issues are coming from Trevor and nobody else on the boat. I got 3 things I want to tell you I love and 3 things that I'm not loving about the episode, but I'm going to do that at the end. And before we get there, let's run through the rest of the episode. We have Sierra talking about the guys being hot. Now, you ladies or you guys that are in the live chat or at any point watching this, do you think that this cast and crew of Below Deck is hot? And if so, who's hot and who's not? Tell me in the live chat. Tell me in the... Oh, yes, that's right. Someone's telling us they love Chef Ben. If you know, I love Chef Ben too. He's going to show up in a not loving section later, which is interesting. And I'll tell you why then. But in the meantime, don't forget, if you're listening to this or watching this, you can give us a 5-star review. That would be awesome. Since I'm a solo person, I need a little bit of help. But anyways, let's move on to the episode. I'm talking a lot, and we're not talking about the episode. So Sierra thinks the guys are hot. I want to know what you guys think. Lauren and Nico seem to be getting along great. They've just recently met. They're only 3-4 days in, and yet Lauren calls it that they've known each other for ages, which I thought was a very sweet comment and statement. And it did seem like Lauren and Nico have a great relationship, whereas Trevor he's the senior deckhand, but he seems to not get along great with anyone, but especially his colleagues, Lauren and Nico. And that's going to be an issue all season, I can say that, because I see it. Someone is saying they don't like the cast. I'm sorry. Someone is saying they love the cast. Uh, it doesn't compare to the Mediterranean. It's interesting. It's early, guys. I can't say how we're going to compare to the Mediterranean right now. I really do think that there's a good potential from this cast. I like Kate. Obviously, I like Ben. I like Nico. He seems down to earth. Lauren. You got to have someone like Trevor on the show to add excitement. Kelly. He seems like he's grown up now since last season, and he's captivated by women. So that's interesting. We're gonna have to watch for. And then Sierra, while she can't really make any deadlines. She missed her flight. She woke up late. She seems like she has potential to be exciting, and so does Emily with her British accent. And so I'm gonna have to say that I think that we're in for a good season. And if you don't like the cast, give it a shot. Give it a couple weeks, and we'll see what develops because there seems to be some really good footage coming. Now, Lauren and Nico are getting on great, and so they do the beach picnic, which goes over splendidly. And then the girls, the Instagram girls, stay up late or early, depends the way you look at it. They call Kelly and they ask him to come up, and he's about sleeping. This is past 1 a.m. And I'm really so far digging the way that Kelly's been handling his position as bosun. He's been very authoritative and using his power perfectly by not acting like he's above anyone, but just trying to be a good leader. I was very impressed by Kelly in tonight's episode. But he comes up even though he's got a serious attraction to Kelsey, and he handles it very maturely. He plays Connect 4, which, by the way, fun fact, if you're out there listening to me, I love Connect 4. So anyone that comes to LA, if you're in LA, call me up. I love playing Connect 4. It's my favorite game. If Connect 4 is your favorite game, tell me on social media at Mike Rips, or tell me in the live chat right now, because Connect 4 is where it's at. So good game by Kelly. The girls had a great time at the beach picnic. They had a great time up staying late after hours, and then they went to bed, and there's clearly some mutual admiration for each other between Kelsey and Kelly. But Kelly handled it well. We see the next shot being the last day of the charter for the Instagram girls, who have had a great and thrilling few days on the boat. Trevor talks about telling Nico and Lauren, or that me and Kelly were nervous at the start, as though he's in the position of power, which is another time where it was weird. But they are talking in the bottom of the ship about the young crew and how everyone seems to be young, which it is a young cast, leading for maybe potential debauchery down the road. But they're all talking about their tattoos, and there is some interesting dialogue about the difference in tattoos. And of course, Trevor seemed to be a little bit out of it again. Sierra oversleeps, which this early in the season, to miss your flight, to oversleep, we're going to have to keep an eye on you, Sierra. You may be pretty, but that doesn't get you everywhere. Kate's been amazing, the evolution of Kate as a leader. She's super understanding throughout so far through this season, in Sierra oversleeping, even her missing her flight, and the way she handles it. I'm really into the way that Kate has been handling her role, and compared to earlier seasons of Below Deck, I'm excited for the way that Kate has matured and really takes leadership. And it does seem like this crew is in good hands with both Captain Lee and Kate in charge. And the way that Kelly has evolved, it's quite nice. Someone's asked me in the live chat right now if I like Captain Lee. I gotta say, guys, I love Captain Lee. It's surprising because I've been a Below Deck fan from the start, and Captain Lee has evolved as well as the way I just said Kate has. Captain Lee has really evolved into a fantastic, not only crew leader, the way he leads the crew. He doesn't take much from each person. He makes each person handle their job and let them do their job, but he's a no-nonsense captain. But he seems really down to earth too. In fact, hopefully later this season we'll have Captain Lee on as a guest, along with maybe many of the crew. I didn't have enough time tonight to get people, but in the future, look for crewmates, castmates, and ideally Captain Lee to be on this show. It would have been great tonight, but we'll have him down the road. But yeah, I do love Captain Lee. He's been tremendous. And in fact, if you're going to ask me who they centered this season around of Below Deck, I think it's Captain Lee. So that's quite a statement to say that about Captain Lee from where he's come. I thought he was very rigid at the start of his Below Deck career, but he's really loosened up a little bit. But you get a little bit of, for the cameras, he's good with it. And I'm a big fan of Captain Lee. So tell me what you guys think in the live chat. It's a little bit hard to see, but someone is talking about wanting to see Trevor leave the charter, and very immature. Yeah, and I agree. He has been very immature, but I want to just take a second here to make you remember that this is TV. They could be editing it to make you think he's even worse. And someone is mentioning Trevor has the look that producers love. And that's right, exactly. Thank you, Joseph Bosa. It's good to see you back here with us. Thank you, Jasmine, for joining. Yeah, that's right. And it's been 2 episodes. Let's give it a few episodes. He's been tough to deal with. We don't have to deal with him, thankfully. It doesn't seem like the crew it likes him so much, but you never know. It's a long season. We'll have to see. Someone, Sky Patterson, says Captain Lee is cool but very hard, and I agree. I'm a person that appreciates someone that's hard but cool. He lets everyone do their job. If they don't, he's tough on them, and I appreciate that. He doesn't want anyone to go home, but we're going to have to watch if Trevor goes home this season. So we move along in the episode, and we see that Kate and Ben have a disagreement about toast. That's what it comes to on this season of Below Deck. A disagreement about toast. And Kate gives us a good piece of information when she mentions that there is no safe zone when it comes to breakfast service with Chef Ben. We didn't know that from the Mediterranean season, but we know that now, that breakfast service is the one time where Ben may get off his game and toast. It's not Ben's responsibility. It's Kate's. So tell me what you think. Is it Kate's responsibility or Ben? Or should it be? But Ben certainly tells Kate it's her responsibility to make the toast. So don't mess around with Ben and toast. But I do love the way that they argue. It's kind of cute. Like, they're not at each other's throats. They have cordial, mature discussions and disagreements, and they move along, and it's like nothing happened. And that's why I think this season is going to be great. Great season for excitement amongst the cast. Following that, you hear Trevor talking about, he says, you got to give me some control to Kelly. And in fact, all I say to that is, no, he doesn't. It would make no sense to give you control. So it's quite silly of you to ask Trevor. I would love to get Trevor on this program. Trevor, if you're watching tonight, please join us for an episode sometime down the road. I have a lot of questions for you. Jasmine Crace in the live chat says, I'm a newbie watching Below Deck because I'm used to the Med season and you like Captain Lee. That's right. Thank you guys. Anyone watching Below Deck from the Mediterranean season, I appreciate you guys coming back, and we definitely appreciate you watching Below Deck, the regular season. This is season 4 for Below Deck. It's quite exciting, and yes, that's right, Joseph. Comedic moments keep happening with Ben and Kate when they argue. Let's move along to, is Emily into Nico? She mentioned stuff about her perfect type of boyfriend who she would like, and I can't go over everything, but she did mention that she may be into Nico. I want you guys to watch Emily being into Nico. So the Instagram girls, they leave the charter. They leave a fantastic tip, $15,000 if you're counting at home. That's $1,360 a person. I did that for you, Sierra. You seem to struggle when you had to discuss and tell us how much money you made. The 1,360, that's how you could say it, or you could say it $1,360. That was for you, Sierra. But anyways, yeah, so they hashtag love you all, and thank you to the Instagram girls. They were funny guests. They seem to enjoy their time, and they set the bar high for the rest of the charter guests this season on Below Deck. Now let's get to Trevor, because this episode was Trevor, and more Trevor. In fact, I know they called it What Happens in the Hot Tub Stays in the Hot Tub. They should have called it just Trevor. So some of the things about Trevor that got to me and that we see is that Trevor's not cleaning, but he's buying a $14,000 truck, which A, I just don't understand why you would buy a truck from a boat. B, why you would be buying a truck right when you got money and you're not cleaning. And C, why you would do that right in front of the captain. It doesn't quite make sense. It seems like he's misguided or not aware of certain situations. Tell me if you think I'm right. What did you think about that situation? Because it was quite interesting. But Trevor, he got what was coming to him, because one of the bathrooms was clogged and he had to come clean the toilet. Kate had a funny joke calling him number 2 in relation to the clogged toilet. I was impressed by the way he was able to handle it. The one thing you have to say about Trevor is that Trevor definitely knows what he's doing on these boats. While he's a lot to handle, it seems like many of the crew are a fan of his. He does know what he's doing. You got to give him credit, because at the end of the day, he is getting the job done. He's just making it difficult for everybody. So thank you, Sky. I do agree. I think this show can be funny. I think we're going to get funnier parts. I think right now we're establishing kind of roles for each of the crew, but I have very high expectations. So stick along for the ride this season. Captain Lee had a lot of self-control. That's correct when Trevor was buying the truck, and that's what I like about Captain Lee. He's developed into a great personality for TV and for the boat. He sees everything. You can't get anything by Captain Lee. So that it didn't make sense for Trevor, anyways. We're moving on, and Kelly lays into Trevor over his radio communication. Trevor tells Kelly that he's busy, so you would never tell your boss over the radio when his boss and everyone could hear that you're busy. That's just poor communication. It seems like Trevor's lacking in tact in communication. I do want to tell you about my 3 loving and 3 not loving moments. I figured I'd do something different since I'm alone. Let's start it off with tonight's episode. This is 3 loving, 3 not loving that I felt about tonight's episode. First, I'm loving Nico's work ethic. If Nico, you're watching, everything I've seen from Nico is right on point. Work ethic is amazing. Even when he's being riled up by Trevor, he's still getting the job done. Lauren seems to love him. That's a great thing. I'm loving that. On the flip side, I'm not loving Trevor. Your attitude, man. Come on. Right now, you're the least valuable player. Get your shit together, and then you'd have a strong crew. Because right now, it's looking like everybody's got something bringing to the table, but Trevor is bringing the negative. So I'd like to see that improved. My second loving, it's Kelly. His reaction to an attractive lady. It's like he's never seen one. He says, "Oh, Kelsey, thank you, God, for women like her," was one comment I caught. I caught another one where he said, "She smiles, and I just lie." I must have messed that up. Sorry. He talks about women with accents, and he also mentions it's been 5 months. I hope that's been cleared up for him. But he's got quotes about the women every episode, so keep an eye on that as we watch the rest of the season, how much he talks about the females. And he's an attractive fella, so it's surprising that he's having this much trouble. On the flip side, let's go to a not loving. And this is a surprise because Ben is my, I'm always with Team Chef Ben. But Ben serving barley to the gluten-free guest. Wow, Ben. It's the first time I've caught Ben with a mistake. Nonetheless, not loving that, Ben. Get your stuff together. Finally, the third thing I'm loving in tonight's episode, Kate's leadership. I talked about it earlier. She's super understanding with her crew. She doesn't rile up. Even when she's in a disagreement with Ben or anybody, she handles it really well, and it's very impressive. So Kate's leadership and understanding, and not just tonight's episode, but as it's grown from when she started, is quite remarkable. If you go back to earlier seasons of Below Deck, you'd really know what I mean. But Kate is quite impressive, and in fact, she's on Watch What Happens Live tonight on Bravo. So after you're done watching this, go watch her. That's my 3 loving. My final not loving, it's Sierra's ability to describe her tip money. She doesn't know how to say $1,360 or $1,360. There's many ways to say it, but it can't be that hard. It's a lot of money. Get it right, Sierra. All right, that's fine. That's my 3 up, 3 down for tonight's episode. Let's move along to finally, after the Instagram girls leave, we see them go party and spend all their money off the boat. And Trevor, again, star of the show, Trevor is spending all his money, getting completely drunk. It's like he's never partied this hard. He's going super hard, buying Long Islands, to the point where he becomes a nuisance and annoyance to his coworkers. You never want to be that guy. If you're watching the show, don't be that person. Don't be Trevor. And then he goes back to the boat, and Trevor wants to talk about his issues with Kelly, and it's just not the right time. We've seen this in past episodes of Below Deck, past episodes of Below Deck Mediterranean. But again, Kelly, with great handling of the situation, great awareness to how drunk that Trevor was, and that it's just not the appropriate time. I will say this. Is Kelly into Emily? What do you guys think? Tell me in the live chat. Tell me in the comments after we're done here. Does Kelly have a thing for Emily? We know there's going to be some hooking up between the cast. It's just meant to be. It's a young crew. It's a good-looking crew. They got a good-looking boat. There's definitely going to be some who knows what. I'm guessing Kelly's into Emily. But you tell me what you think. So finally, Trevor has to go to sleep. He doesn't want to go to sleep. He's very inebriated. Don't be that person. And basically, the rest of the crew wants to stay away from him. So it's something we have to watch going into season 3 and episode 3, excuse me. Speaking of episode 3, let's go to the predictions. I've got predictions for you right now.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
I want to let my co-host go first because that's usually how we do it, but it's just me, so I'll go first here. This is an easy one, guys. I'll be back here next week, and Trevor's going to cause more trouble. So when Trevor said if it's either him or me, guess what, Trevor? It's you. That's my prediction. I don't think Trevor is long for the show this season. I don't know if it's going to be next episode. I don't think Trevor makes it through this season. Everything he's shown us has been a disaster. What do you guys think? Is Trevor going to be here in the final episode? Because I don't think so. So far, he started out the first 2 episodes of this season in a whole world of hurt. But you never know. Maybe he's back. Anyways, I am back next week. Next week, we'll cover episode 3. Hopefully, I'll have some guests or hosts to join me. With that said, thank you guys so much for joining us on another episode of Below Deck. My name is Michael Rippe. Catch me all over social media at Mike Rips. Watch all the other shows here at AfterBuzz TV. We'll catch you next time. Thanks so much.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.